it's time to begin the 2022 Longines World Racing Awards. Coffee is being served, don't worry. Pudding will be following shortly afterwards. But first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone around the globe who is joining us via live stream. I'm Francesca Kamani, and I have the honor and the privilege to be the MC of this prestigious event. We would like to begin the ceremony with the Longines World's Best Horse Race, which recognizes the best-rated race of the highest-rated group or Grade 1s. It's my pleasure to invite back to the stage Mr. Mathieu Baumgartner, the Vice President Marketing of Longines, as well as Mr. Jim Galliano and Mr. Horacio Esposito, Vice Chairs of the IFHA, to reveal the 2022 recipient.
Good afternoon to everyone here in London and those watching from abroad. First off, we very much want to thank Longines for co-hosting this ceremony, which is now in its 10th year. This year, it's our honor to announce that the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic has been crowned the 2022 Longines World's Best Horse Race. This is the second time the Classic has won the award, following the 2016 edition, and it is routinely rated as one of the top races in the world. In 2022, the Classic topped all other group Grade 1s with a remarkable rating of 126.75. The race was run by Flightline, with fellow Grade 1 winners Olympiad, Taiba, and Rich Strike completing the top 4 spots. Let's take a look at this remarkable race. Cue the video.
It's an honor for the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic to be named as the 2022 Longines World's Best Horse Race, and it's a testament to the efforts of all the people at the Breeders' Cup and the horses most of all. Our team at the Breeders' Cup takes great pride in delivering full and impressive fields.
When Flightline walked in the paddock, it was like the Beatles at a rock concert, where you could feel the energy and the buzz, and it was just there all week long.
They're off in the 39th Breeders' Cup Classic. Life is good by a length. Flightline on the outside second. 8 back to Hot Rod Charlie. Then Taiba to the outside. They're coming to the top of the stretch. Life is good. And Flightline hook up as they turn for home. Flightline takes off. Flightline has gone right by Life is Good and comes into the final furlong with a 3-length lead. It is Flightline. It is mind-tingling, jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, Secretariat-like Breeders' Cup Classic win!
We were so glad to be back in Lexington, Kentucky, which is our headquarters, particularly after not having fans in the stands in 2020. And it was really the icing on the cake. I mean, it was perfect weather. You couldn't ask for a better scene than beautiful Keeneland.
The classic finish of Flightline was something that no one will forget. It is something that will enhance our entire industry for the foreseeable future.
It's our pleasure to welcome Drew Fleming, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Breeders' Cup, to the stage. With an average rating of 126.75, the Longines World's Best Horse Race for 2022, the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic. Congratulations.
Drew, many congratulations. I've got to say, I watched the race in a hotel room in my pajamas very early in the morning in Australia. Tell me what it was like to be there, to witness Flightline tearing away with a race like that, of such a high quality, beating so many good horses. What was the experience like?
Well, I mean, it was truly spectacular and amazing, and I was very fortunate to watch Flightline run in the Met Mile, and then go on to the Pacific Classic, and there he just kept going and going and going, and the journey didn't stop. Flightline came to the Breeders' Cup, and like I said, it was the Beatles walking in, like the Beatles in the paddock.
Great line,
It was amazing. And then to see Flightline around the turn in a beautiful Keeneland, and just great supporters of the Breeders' Cup. It was just a truly magical day, and to see him around the turn, the crowd erupting, it's fantastic.
And it's the second time the Breeders' Cup Classic has won the award following the 2016 edition. What does this mean for the Breeders' Cup to receive such a prestigious award twice now?
Well, we've got the best owners and breeders and nominators and supporting us across the globe, and without them, we wouldn't be the Breeders' Cup. And so we can't thank them enough for all they do, and it's such an honor to be here. Thank you all for coming today, and just a testament to the sport to be included with such other great races. I can't thank the IFHA enough, Longines for being such a great partner to all of us, and thank you very, very much.
Well done again. I hope you've got enough space in your luggage for all your awards.
I will definitely make room. This is a great one to pick up, so thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that. We now turn to the equine champions of 2022 and the Longines World's Best Racehorse Award. Now, our winners are based on the Longines World's Best Racehorse Rankings, which is a global reference within the racing industry. As always, we're going to present the awards in reverse order, starting with the second highest ranked horse, who is also the world's highest rated turf horse in 2022. I would like to ask Mr. Brian Kavanagh and Mr. Masayuki Goto, Vice Chairs of the IFHA, to come on stage.
Thank you, Francesca. It's lovely to be back in London again and to see so many friends. Winfried, I got in at 8:30 this morning and I have to be gone by 8:30 this evening, so you've beaten me there. It's a great pleasure to introduce the next honoree. It's a horse whose performances throughout last year were scintillating, with his crowning achievement coming in the Juddmonte International Stakes at York. It is, of course, Baaeed. Baaeed won 4 Group 1 races in 2022, with his other victories coming in the Queen Anne, the Sussex and the Longines Stakes. And overall, he won the first 10 races of his career. It was, however, his sublime performance in the Juddmonte International that truly stamped Baaeed's superiority as he stepped up in distance to 10 furlongs and drew away to win by 6.5 lengths. Baaeed earned a rating of 135 on that day, a remarkable figure and the highest on turf since Frankel was rated 140 a decade ago. This mark is also just £1 below the 136, which Baaeed's own sire, See the Stars, earned in 2009. We're very grateful to have Richard Hills of Shadwell with us today, as well as Baaeed's trainer, William Haggis, and his jockey, Jim Crowley. What an outstanding job all of you did in helping your horse achieve stardom. Before we invite you up to stage, let's revisit Baaeed's most memorable moments on the track.
Crowley and Baaeed, what a partnership.
Baaeed is a class apart here. Another star performance from Baaeed. He's going to win the Longines in emphatic style. 7 out of 7.
You ever go to the fun fair and you're waiting in the queue for a fast ride? That's the feeling before you get on him. It's just a buzz.
They're off. It is Baaeed in front by 2 lengths. Real World is chasing him. Order of Australia back in 3rd position, but a great meeting, a scintillating winner. Baaeed is unbeaten.
And here is Baid now, asked the big question on the outside. This horse has got gears that other horses do not possess, and it's night from night. Baid and a canter.
They are off and racing, and Sir Busker just dwelt as the stalls open for the 2022 Jummont International. Jim Crowley's hardly moving on Baid. Now he's asking to pick up this leader, and the response is instantaneous. There's no question he loves the distance, and it's a perfect take for Baid in the Jummont. Wow, he's won by 6 lengths.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 out of 10. Please salute Baid.
At 135, the second highest rated horse and the highest rated turf horse in the world for 2022 is Baid. Please welcome William, Jim and Richard to the stage.
Absolute star. It was a pleasure to watch his career unfold with those 10 wins, 6 Group 1s. What a star. I'm going to start with you, William.
Yeah, it's a shame Flightline didn't see you in your pyjamas in Australia. It might have less concentration.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that one. Right, where do we go from here? I was probably in my pyjamas most of the time watching Baid. I didn't get to go. Although I was there at the Jummont International, that was some performance. But William, I read a quote from you not long ago saying, in your office, above your desk, you've got a sign that says, "Worry is a futile emotion." Tell me, in the time of having Baid in the stable, with those big targets that he had to reach, were you able to stick to that?
Pretty much so. I think before Ascot, I was at my most nervous because it was the first race of such a prestigious meeting for us, and he was about 6-1 on, and everyone expected him to win. And those horses can fall, not fall literally, but things can happen in horse racing. Anyway, fortunately, he did win, and he gave us all. We've had a wonderful journey. Much like the owners and trainer of Flightline, but we've had our own journey here, and it has been fantastic, and I wish I could guarantee that it could be repeated, but I doubt it will.
Jim, the Jummont International, talk us through that, because I actually was there that day, and I remember when it looked like you had victory in the bag, I just turned around in the stands and just watched everybody watching the brilliance of Baid. And that was an amazing experience that brought everybody together. What was it like on his back?
It was an experience I'd never experienced anything like it before. It was like everything happened in slow motion. It was just a pleasure to ride. There was never a moment's worry. When I could go between horses, and I just kept taking a pull, and all season I hadn't really let the handbrake off, and I always knew it was there, so when I did it was a great feeling, and just to hear the crowd clapping was unusual. Normally they cheer, and it was just applause and appreciation.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be, when you look back on it in its entirety, that you really realise what an incredible year it was. You did the steering on the track. Richard, you did a lot of the riding of Baid at home as well, but bigger picture stuff, how important was it for the Shadwell operation to have a horse, a homebred like this, being such a champion that he was, at a crucial time in the operation's history with Shaker Hissa taking over the reins?
Yeah, as you said, you know, the passing of Sheikh Hamdan was before Baid had his first run, and Shaker Hissa took over and her family. The most important thing for us was at Ascot. You know, Shaker Hissa had never been to Royal Ascot before, and we were the first race, so we were nervous, and Angus and I weren't sure whether she'd attend the paddock or, you know, come hopefully into the winning closure. And of course, you know, Baid did his stuff, and Jim and William, and he led the horse in, and literally that lifted us all and her, and the journey literally started from there right to York. So, you know, we were very proud of him.
And what a journey it was. Many congratulations. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And now, to introduce the recipient of the 2022 Longines World's Best Racehorse Award, I would like to ask Mr. Winfried Engelbrecht-Breskes, Chair of the IFHA, to come to the stage.
It's a very rare achievement for highly regarded racehorses to actually exceed their lofty expectations. We place upon them. But it's precisely what the 2002 winner of the Best World's Horse did. After less than an ideal start in the Grade 1 Met Mile, Flightline made an easy victory by 6 lengths. And everybody paying attention to global racing knew he was good. Then came the Grade 1 Pacific Classic. And Flightline showed the world that not only he was very good, he was truly special. With effortless ease, Flightline left his competition behind, ultimately winning by almost 20 lengths. Over the Dubai World Cup winner, Country Grammar, it was such an exceptional performance that will live on in the minds of all who saw it and all who will see it multiple times on internet. Even our esteemed handicappers, who were not easy to impress, were impressed and gave Flightline a rating of 140 for this victory that day. This equals Frankel's benchmark rating set in 2012 under the current system. To add even more context, previously, the highest rated rating given to a horse on dirt was 135 by the legendary Seagar in 1996. Flightline's business was not finished yet, and he returned to the track to dominate his foes one more time in the Longines Breeders' Club Classic, which was honored at the 2022 World's Best Horse race earlier in our ceremony. His trainer, John Sadler, must be praised for the tremendous skill in preparing this remarkable horse to show the world he's one of the all-time greats. His jockey, Flavien Prat, should be applauded for the beautiful partnership he had with him. Let me now take a few moments to revisit the highlights of the remarkable year, and we see now the video.
A horse of a generation, maybe the best that we have seen since Secretariat. Flightline is just that good.
And they're off, and it was a slow start for Flightline. He is quickly moving up now on the inside of Speaker's Corner, and Flightline has taken over the lead from Speaker's Corner. Happy Saver runs in third, then Aloha West. Flightline is in full flight. He had a slow start, but a terrific finish in the Grade 1 Met Mile. Flightline goes in, all set for the TVG Pacific Classic. And there's the roar from the crowd. Take a good look at this, because you're not going to see this too often, maybe never again. Flightline, 20 lengths clear. Flavion Pratt takes a hold and canters in the TVG Pacific Classic.
It was sublime. I don't think we'll ever see another horse like him.
They're off in the 39th Breeders' Cup Classic. Flightline broke very well. Life is Good goes out to the early lead. Life is Good and Flightline hook up as they turn for home. And Flightline takes off. It is spine-tingling, jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, Secretariat-like Breeders' Cup Classic win. He won it by 8 lengths on the wire. No doubt about how great he is. Flightline is awesome.
What a performance. It's an honor to introduce this award and to welcome John Sattler and Flightline's co-owners, Stephanie Horonis, Jane Lyon, Terry Findlay, and Bill Farish to the stage. Friends, friends and colleagues, with a rating of 140, equal to the benchmark set by the mighty Frankel, the 2022 Longines World's Best Racehorse is Flightline.
My goodness, what a horse. Congratulations, John, on handling his career so brilliantly. And tell me, when you got to that Pacific Classic, when he won by over 19 lengths, was that the moment for you that he was really able to show the world how brilliant he was?
You know, he never hid his talent. He was a star from the day he walked into the barn, and that's the way he walked out. Really, we're so grateful, you know, to have a horse like this in my career. Most horsemen never get one like this. And so I feel very blessed. I'd like to thank Longines and what's the National IF Horse Racing Authority for this wonderful party. And everybody's treated us fabulously here in London, and all obviously the ownership group. They were sensational. Jane Lyons bred a beautiful horse, and we were lucky enough to have him. And you know, I think another point that works well is that thanks to the Jockey Club, Breeders' Cup, this horse ran medication-free. Well, I think really fits well into the international community moving forward.
Well done. Well, 6 races, retiring undefeated, 4 Grade 1s, and over a combined total of 70 lengths. He won his victories. Jane, I'd like to ask you the next question. Can I give you the microphone? Yes. You bred the horse, you raised him, you kept a stake in him as a racehorse. I just can't imagine how proud that must make you, having had the horse throughout his career. Can you share something with us about him in his early life?
In his early life, I didn't realize how fabulous he was going to be, obviously. But he had to take second place to another horse I had. That will never happen again. He will not have to take second place to anyone again.
I can imagine. And Jane, I always wonder, because good horses nearly always have really good names. Flightline. And can you imagine walking into the stable at John Sadler's and saying, hey, I'm Flightline? He was already halfway to being a great horse already, but you name your horses before they go to the sales, is that right?
Yes, I do.
And what gave you the impetus to name him that?
Well, with Mother Like Feathered, it wasn't difficult. Also, my father and both of his brothers were pilots in World War II. And so Flightline seemed appropriate.
Very appropriate, and very smart of you also to stay in the horse when you also sold him at the sales to the partners that you raced him with. Stephanie Horonis, I'm going to hand the mic to you. It doesn't feel like that long ago since we were enjoying the brilliance of Frankel, and now to have a horse with an equally high rating as him in Flightline. What does that mean to you and all the partners?
It's really challenging to put into words to even think about being in the history books, let alone possibly the same chapter as Frankel. It means a tremendous amount to the group and all the hard work that went into starting with the breeding and, I mean, genetics, everything, the training, that just everything went perfectly. And so it means so much that it all culminated into him reaching to the great heights as a horse such as Frankel and others.
And just tell me, on Breeders' Cup Day, watching him win the Classic like that, what were the parties like afterwards?
We were just glad to be breathing, for breathing to resume, because, I mean, especially leading up to the race, and even though he's a favorite, you know, we all know in this room, you just never know until your horse gets across the finish line. There's no guarantee that he's going to get first, so we were kind of holding our breath leading up to it, and then during it, and it was wonderful to be able to return and watch the replay and just celebrate tremendously and just be so beyond thrilled and honored.
Well, it's been lovely to watch the Flightline story. Congratulations to all of you and the partnership. You look like you had a brilliant time in the process. And to Flightline at Stud. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, what a historic year it was in our great sport. Thank you again to everybody and for all the connections of these great horses for travelling to London today to celebrate the 2022 Longines World Racing Awards. And thank you as well to our gracious hosts, Longines and the IFHA. At this point, I'd like to take the opportunity to remind our international media that all the winning connections will be available to meet with you in the designated areas at the back of the room for interviews following the end of the ceremony. For our guests in person, you're welcome to stay to enjoy tea, coffee, and a lovely dessert which will be coming your way. And to each and everyone here in London or watching at home, thank you very much for joining us today for the 2022 Longines World Racing Awards, and please enjoy the rest of your day.